So guys, I want to run a real quick tutorial about what to do when you come up to a vacant land or vacant wooded area where it's supposed to be a home or whatever, but you'll run into a situation where there are vacant properties. I'll show you in just a minute what I mean. So anytime you run into a piece of property that is a vacant land, vacant lot, like no structure, basically you're going to call it vacant lot. So what you want to do for a vacant lot is you want to make sure that you get a picture of the street sign, the neighborhood scenes, a few pictures of the property. Remember, you can't get an address, you can't explain what the property looks like because it's just a slab. So I'm gonna show you in just a minute, but I wanted to get the talking points out real quick. So I'm gonna show you right now what I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna show you. If you can see right there, that is a piece of vacant land. All right, supposed to be a home there. So you want to make sure you always read your work order to see what your photo requirements are. One company may only require 2 photos, and there might be another company that requires 5 photos. So make sure you always check in your photo requirements on your work order, even if you run across a piece of vacant land. Now, a piece of vacant land could be, I've been to properties where one month the house was standing, and the next month the house was totally burned down to the ground. So, even though I had previous results, I could no longer say it was a structure there. So now it's a piece of vacant land because there's no property there. I've also been in situations where the land was a wooded area because it was just only a piece of land with an address. So basically, what did I do? I took pictures of trees. That's all I could take pictures of. So when you run across those situations, these are common and they will come up from time to time. It's not often, but they will come up from time to time. And when you have properties like that, especially vacant land, sometimes your vendor, the person that you are doing work for, will want you to contact the tax assessor. Basically, a lot of the county tax assessors, they have online access where you can access that type of information, read the plotting maps so that you can make sure that you're at the correct address. But there are some county tax assessors that charge a fee for you to access it. If they charge a fee, I'm not paying a fee. If the vendor wants access, then they're going to have to provide access. But sometimes you will have to pay. I've never had to pay. I always found a way around not having to pay to access that information. So, do the best you can. If you're you're working in a particular county and can't find an address, the best place for you to find an address is on the county tax assessor's website, if you can access it free of charge. That is probably the easiest way for you to do it. Then you can verify, then you can say that you verified with the tax assessor that you are at the correct address. But always, even for vacant land, again, usually the standard photos are neighborhood, street sign, and a couple of pictures of the property itself to show that it is vacant land. I usually over deliver on my photos. Sometimes they say 3 photos, but I'm submitting 5 because now if it's in a subdivision, or I might submit 5 or more, but if it's in a subdivision, I'm taking a picture of the subdivision sign. Of course, I'm getting the street sign, I'm getting the street scene, I'm getting the front of the property, and I may get a neighbor's address in order to verify that I am at the correct property. So any one of those things you can do to actually verify you're at the correct property. Number 1, you can contact the tax assessor website. Number 2, you can if you can tell by a neighbor's address, by the way the houses are set, You know, you can take a photograph the neighbor's address. You know, so these are just some tips that you can do if you ever run across, especially vacant land. Now, there's another one that you may run across. Basically, what is that other one? Hold on. Okay, I remember now. There's another one which we call a bad address. Now, sometimes, you know, the counties will change street names and things like that. And so you may go to a house, it may be a corner unit. It may be a corner house, but the house address is actually on a different street than what your work order says. So these kind of things have to be corrected. So if you, and with that too, you may have to go to the tax assessor to see what is the proper address, what is the correct address, and then you report that on your work order. Now, if your tax assessor says, hey, you're at the right property, but the work order says it's a wrong address, I would suggest going ahead and photographing the property that you're at that has the incorrect address, because the tax assessor is basically saying that you are at the correct property. So sometimes you'll run across bad addresses where these addresses don't even exist. And maybe the bank put the address in wrong. It could be a number of reasons why it is actually a bad address. So, you know, in a case like a bad address, again, you want to contact the tax assessor and try to verify any way you can that that you're at the right property. A tax assessor will probably be your best shot in verifying that their work order is incorrect and you are actually photographing the correct property. So I hope that helps you guys out. I just thought about that because, you know, sometimes I run into vacant land. So I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of the differences between a vacant lot and a bad address, and know how to complete those orders. So always, always, always read your work order, all right, for all your requirements. That way you are ensuring that you are getting paid for the work that you are doing. All right, guys, see you in the next video.